This is the 67th birthday of Pakistan and 67 years of our present period of history. The thought that comes to my mind is that children who are born this year, by the time they are young men and young women, it would be a century. Pakistan would have had a century old. And I think this is a good time to reflect and to consider how far we've come and which direction we're going in, and what kind of a vision we can have for the remainder of this century. I'm speaking to you as a witness. Of course, it's a matter of deep satisfaction for me to do so, because it enables me to put on the table what has been in my heart and what has been in my mind, and what I've seen in my time. I would like to mention that we started in August 47 with the concept which Quaid-e-Azam gave us, that of unity, faith and discipline. Perhaps today it is not as commonplace, but in 47, 48, it was all over the place. That was clearly our vision and our paradigm and our motto and our slogan all rolled into one. Now, looking back, I think it's a fair statement that in fact there has been no unity amongst us. It has been more and more fragmentation rather than unity as time has passed. And there is no faith that I'm aware of. And I'm sure that the people today also do not have any experience of any particular national faith. Quaid-e-Azam, when he said faith, he meant a national faith and not a sectarian faith. So there is no faith as such in that count. And as for discipline, the less said the better. On that note also, I think it is time that this time around we formulated another direction, another paradigm to replace that one which did not work over more than half a century. Before I go on, let me quickly add that 3 generations, elder generations, have clearly failed to fulfill the promise that Pakistan was in August 47, and the promise that Jinnah had in his mind and that many of us had in our dreams. I do look to the 4th generation for rediscovering our future, which we seem to have lost. And I want to date it, I'm willing to date it. We lost it in August 47. To that I'm an eyewitness. It was not that we pursued that dream and then we lost it. No, from the first step we lost it. We were preoccupied with a completely different vision of Pakistan, and that was one of individual betterment and some kind of management of the state and government within which individuals could pursue their individual betterment. You can see what bitter fruit this tree has borne us. You can see where we stand today as a people within the country as a whole. Look at the picture that we make of ourselves. And you can also see the picture that we have painted of ourselves in the world community. There is an old Scottish saying that would the giftee give us the gift to see ourselves as others see us. And I hope that the fourth generation can begin to see Pakistanis and Pakistan as the world around us sees us. I hope that at long last, after 67 years, in the fourth generation, some human sensitivities will take root and be born in them. Human sensitivities are those to which a human being responds to his human condition, in accordance with the sensitivities which are normal and natural to human beings. So on that note of my dream of an emerging sensitivity in the fourth generation, I would like to add that if they can see themselves in the mirror of their own humanity and their own sensitivities, then they will go on to undertake the next task of acquiring an understanding. Because I want to say that sensitivities without understanding are necessarily orphaned and they are helpless. So if they are to be real, then they have to be equipped with a broad and a deep understanding. And I believe that the fourth generation is eminently capable of it. It has along with our many misfortunes, there is the good fortune that a large number of the youth, particularly in the middle classes in the urban areas, have access to the raw material and the tools out of which a broad and a deep understanding can be made and created and developed, because it's a labor product, understanding. It is not something that you can go and buy. It is something that men have to work at. And that kind of a work can only be undertaken if they are driven by their awakened sensitivities. This understanding cannot be achieved for a personal reason, for the reasons of a personal career or a project or a personal agenda. That is not the, that will only produce at best an expertise in the pursuit of a short-term personal agenda. So this second task, I think, is to acquire this understanding. And the third, I think, task, which is a part and parcel of this integrated change of track, as it were, is that they take responsibility for doing what their sensitivities and their learned wisdom requires them to do. Whatever they do in the larger dimension, other than a personal one, they'll have to take responsibility. And that brings me probably to my last point, and that is that responsibility will have to be not a personal responsibility, but a collective responsibility. I do not mean everyone. No, I think that would be untrue. Never, never in the past and not yet in the future will all the people join hands. There are very good reasons for that. But at least the bulk of the people, the main trends in the people, they do take shape and they can take shape. And that is what I am hoping for, what I am asking for, that collectively the good people will take responsibility. And then it will be an ongoing, continuous process which would have to be upgraded, that of raising your sensitivities, that of deepening your wisdom, and that of enhancing your responsibility. All this would have to be done. And this is a real life process. I hope that good people will learn the art and the craft of how to manage and take responsibility for their personal lives, for their families, but alongside that, not only that as it has been in the past, but alongside that, they will understand and realize that the foundation of their responsibility towards themselves or to their families is nothing less than the responsibility towards society as a whole. I think that in your time, you have the good fortune that you do not need any dogmas. You do not need any ideologies. Today, the level of knowledge and the ability to acquire knowledge and to be reasonable and rational has reached a level where you can have a truly autonomous process instead of a demagogic or a dogmatic process. I have no doubt that we are no less inherently and potentially than any other people in the world. I've never experienced a desire to be better than others, but my deepest emotion is that I should not be unnecessarily inferior and lesser than others. I think that that is entirely practical and possible if it will have some guardians, some people who own the future, as the past generations did not own the future. So I hope you can make a break and redefine the country and the society and yourselves. That is what I have to say.